Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Rhythm Emperors. You already know what we do. We're here. We talk about R&B from the past and some from the future. Some new love I may see scouring the internet because I'm always in a look-see to find something new. I never like getting complacent. That's how I was able to keep a job in the industry for so long, by being able to have a plethora of different categories to write for. You know, that's been my thing. So yes, that's what we're doing over here. And on this segment today, I'm just going to talk about the heroes of voices that I longed to work with in music, who I was a fan of, when I was younger. And it was a segment. I came up in the Guy era, in the Gap Band Guy era, that kind of music. Me, obviously I'm from Harlem, and Teddy Riley and that whole thing. That was everything, whatever, for me. So whatever I did in the music, I wrote for a bunch of, people, and all that was great. But it was always my mission to be able to work with particular people, and I'm gonna tell you who they were. It was Teddy Riley, Aaron Hall, and the father of it all at the time was Charlie Wilson, and then who came along at the end was R. Kelly, right? They all, to me, have the same kind of cadence, kind of voice, all that stuff like that. It all started to me with Otis Redding. Then it went to Charlie Wilson, and then I heard the same thing in Aaron, and then obviously with Aaron came R. Kelly, right? That's just how whatever all came. So with me, those are always the guys that just caught me. I don't know if you, but always dreamed if I can just say, give me a vocal, whatever that I ever wanted to have. I always said I would love to be able to sing like a R. Kelly, like a Aaron, like a Charlie Wilson. The control on their voice, whatever, was crazy. Gospel, I always loved Marvin Sapp, Fred Hammond. Actually, Fred Hammond really was the guy. And Commission, was it with their harmonies and all that stuff, was just absolutely ridiculous. But so I'll start right off the rip from my closest relationship for 30 years in the business. And I guess get the monkeys along with the elephants and the whole tribe off the back, and just tell you who my brother is. And my brother is R. Kelly. And he and I met him at Jive, literally at Jive, while he came in to work. And this is when he was working on his very first album, Vibe. He's writing a song called Vibe, at that time. And we just clicked up, whatever, from the very beginning. We just clicked up. He's a good friend of mine, and he's a big brother, whatever, to me. And I'm telling you something, from the beginning, he always looked out for me. I know people have stuff, whatever, to say about him, and it is what it is. But I'm just talking about, and I'm not gonna cop out like people cop out and talk about, oh, I'm just talking music. I'm not talking music. I'm talking about personally as a friend, and also in regards, whatever, with music. I learned, like I told you, if y'all watch my other cast, my other podcast, stuff like that, I learned from people how to write structure and all that stuff like that. But how to actually really write songs and do songs, I learned from R. Kelly. I learned metaphors. I learned all that stuff with really whatever from R. Kelly. And I'm talking about, when I say I learned, I would write it, he would listen to it, critique it, beat me down. And when I say beat me down, and critique it and get me together. While I'm thinking this shit is hot. I'm thinking that it's hot, and he's letting me know, nah, bro, kind of thing. And he's telling me exactly how to write. So just shaping this stuff, whatever I thought was good. And I was placing records. But again, and I tell you young folks, when you get in there, it's you can write a demo or you can write a song. And then, you may get a placement here and people be feeling like they're good because you got one placement. But nah, it's about staying in the industry for decades. It's for staying in it for decades. So you got to know how to write for different groups. I wrote for R&B, I wrote for pop, I even wrote country. I wrote all that. When you know the formula, it's hard to miss. and he taught me that stuff. You know, again, I could tell you stories. I remember when I flew up there. He always flew me to Chicago, you know, where I worked in his house. He gave me a studio. He just used to put the Hennessy bottle down, and set the Pro Tools and everything up. I have this magnificent studio that he had, whatever, in his house. And he tell everybody, yo, leave Boogs alone. That was my nickname, Boogie. Leave Boogs alone. You know, kind of stuff whenever he comes here. So I come there, all my food, everything, whatever, just laid out, whatever for me. And I just sit there and write songs. And I used to come out there for like maybe a week or 2 weeks, you know, just at a time, all the time, just sporadically, like just coming out there. And I just go out there. I used to write like 30, 40 songs. And the way that I do it, he just let me, like, I'll start an idea and then he finishes it. So I'll write like the first verse and then he'll write like the chorus and finish it off. And that's just for stuff, you know, whatever that he probably just was stumped on and be like, yo, you could probably feel this, like, you know, like one right here. And I always out. So R. Kelly, I don't care what he gave me. He gave me pots and pans, you know, with forks hitting a bucket. I'm gonna write a song to it. So that's exactly what I did, and he liked it, you know. And from there, you know, I started getting bags. You know, he would pay me straight up. It wouldn't be none of that stuff. It'll be in a duffel bag, you know, whatever, how I got paid, whatever, from him. And trust me, it was lovely. It was better than all your contracts. It was a stuffed duffel bag. I'm talking about a bag. He only had to give it to me one time a year. That's how great it was. And he was giving me this bag for about 20 years straight. So I never had no problem. I mean, I'm gonna tell you something right now. Everybody talking about he owe me this, owe me that. I've known that man forever. He doesn't owe me a dime. He has always paid me, and he made sure the record label pays me. If you look on all his albums, you will see Todd Muhammad. I have contributed to almost every album, whatever that he has, and I've been with him through that whole stuff. He protected me. You know, he never had me around none of the crazy stuff everybody talking about his girls, which I just know a lot of these people's lying, because you got to know him to know that if you were around him, like when his girls, whatever came around, his girlfriend, whatever came around, you couldn't even see her. Like, he'll put you away, like yo, he'll make you turn around. When he walks the hallway, he'll have the security yell out blue. Some people know yell blue and make you turn around and look at the wall. So you don't even see people. And that wasn't because everybody tried to twist it and say it was because of some control. It wasn't that. It was because them dudes that was out there with us, I'm sorry to say, like some of the Chicago dudes, some dudes from Detroit and all that stuff, whatever who was in his camp, they were foul. They knew they shouldn't have been talking to these girls, and they would try to talk to them, whatever, behind his back, and then it become like a big thing. So he just protected everybody. I mean, this is what I've seen. I've seen arguments, I've seen fights, I've seen all that stuff. Trust me. I got in a fight. I remember one time I got in a fight. We'll get into that, whatever, with them. Because whenever you get with a bunch of dudes, you're always going to be tested. But anyway, so again, he protected me, like, whatever, from that, which I appreciated. I mean, one time, like I said, my son was sick, and I was coming out there to work for him, and his album was like due, you know, kind of stuff. And my son, whatever, got sick, and he just flew me out there. And as soon as I got to the hospital, like whatever, with my son, he was the first one on the phone asking me, how little man doing? Let him know I love you. Put me on speakerphone. Let him know whatever, I love him. I mean, this is the Rob I knew. You guys knew R. Kelly. I knew Robert Sylvester Kelly. That's who I knew. Like, that was my guy. Always looked out for me. I remember record label people used to always, the people at the record label used to try not to pay me on certain stuff. He would call them and blast them and say, pay him right now, or nothing's getting done. He'd be like, yo, call him on the three-way. Call me on the three-way and said, pay Tar right now, and hang up the phone. I'm saying, so it's like, this was continuous, right? There's one woman up there that know my contribution, whatever, to R. Kelly, and that's Nancy Roof. You know what I'm saying? So she can sit there, she can tell you whatever she needs to know, whatever you need to know. Anybody ever want to check my legitimacy as far as in regard to him. But again, like I said, the way he protected me, kept me away from all that stuff. And I never act like a fan. I was never like trying to run up behind him like that. I didn't have to be in every room. I was coming here to do the music, right? I never had to do that. And when I say I'm talking about, he flew me to everything, to his house, for everything, for parties, for everything. But it's when you acting thirsty, that's when you get yourself whatever issues. And I never acted thirsty with, and that's what he appreciated. When you try to use him, when you try to use Rob, it just ain't gonna happen. He gonna play you. He's definitely gonna play you, and he's gonna use you back. You don't want to do that whatever to this man. Trust me, I'm telling you. So I never played thirsty. I never did none of that stuff. I was always where I was supposed to be, and contributed my business with him, and he loved it, and he loved it for years. He used to get his album done. He used to sit me in the room by his album and let me pick the singles and pick the songs for his album. I'm sorry. This guy to me is legendary, is the greatest R&B singer that ever would ever live, and I'm in there picking his songs. And he told everybody, get out again, like this, leave Todd in there. And man, and I remember one conversation he had with me, and he was just like, he said, Boogie, man, I just want to tell you, man, like, I really respect your ear. I really respect your opinion. He said this in front of people. I really respect your opinion, I respect your ear. That's why I let you listen to my stuff, and you can tell me. You see, I don't let nobody else do that, not even a record exec. And I was like, damn. I'm sitting out, I'm cool because I'm around everybody else. I'm like, yeah, man, that's what's up, man, thanks. But inside, I'm like, thank you, man. This is the greatest ever. So I just was like, man, I always just went all out for him. So that's why, for me, I've always went all out for him when it came to anything, whatever that he needed in regards to what we doing with music. We played basketball. When he came to New York, he was with me. I took him whatever to certain places. He was with me the majority of time, let me say. He was with me the majority of time. And when I took him, it was never none of that sneaky phones and all that stuff like that. I had that all on lock. I had all my dudes, all my Harlem dudes, whatever were with me, we had them secure. He was good. As far as it, when it came to that. Yes, they had that one incident, I believe with Jay-Z, but I was out of town. I wasn't with him, whatever, at that time, with that stuff. And that's that, as far as in regards to Rob. But Rob is everything to me. I miss him dearly. I miss him. I miss laughing. We laugh 90% of the time. Joking and laugh 90% of the time. One of the funniest dudes you will ever meet. I'm just telling you right now, one of the funniest dudes you ever meet. And I just love when I see him just put people in their place. I remember the record label was telling them what single, whatever to pick, and we were at the hotel, and they came up to the hotel. Barry Weiss came up to the hotel, and I'm downstairs with DJ Wayne Williams, who was his A&R. And it was his main boy and his A&R at the time. He was his A&R from the very beginning. Wayne Williams is how R. Kelly got signed over to Jive, which turned to RCA, which turned to Sony, all that stuff. But anyway, so I remember we at this hotel, and all the big wigs came, all the big wigs came, whatever came through, and I'm his man. I'm there on the side, so and I've always assisted him, as far as when it came to music, all that stuff. Assisted him. So he's like, yo, Todd, get drinks like for everybody, like whatever here, like make sure we get drinks because we want to christen this, right? So I put shot glasses down, whatever, for everybody. And Rob, they downstairs, and this is before they come upstairs because I'm downstairs listening to them all talk. Yeah, we got to let them know that this is going to be the song. I think the song was called Hair Braider. I think that was the song. And he was like, yeah, everybody, we got to let them know that we're not going to do that song. This is it. We want him to do this song. That song is terrible. He needs to know that he needs to listen to us and do this. They were talking mad crap down in the lobby, right? So next thing you know, Rob hit me, bring him up. So then, woo, I said, all right, he's ready. So we all go up. Go upstairs to go on a thing, and we already set it up with Rob, where he's such a fool, where he said, you want to give them all alcohol, but when it comes to my glass books, you want to make sure you put water in it. And I said, okay, cool. And he said, make sure to put water in yours too. He said, don't drink. He said, don't drink in the meetings when you're talking to these vultures. I said, okay, that's what's up. What's up? I'm laughing. And obviously I'm doing what he asked. And then we get up there, and I could just tell you there's a whole bunch of stuff to be said. it gets to the end of the meeting, and next thing you know, they're walking out of the well, before they're walking out of the room, he said, let's christen this meeting for us with a drink, and everybody takes a shot, and he's like this, and he had water. But he acting like he just had some alcohol, and they're all making the same alcohol face. But to make a long story short, it gets to the end of the meeting after everybody talking. He's like, yeah, he let everybody talk and said, yeah. So hair braid is going to be the next single, man. It's going to be phenomenal, and you guys are going to love it. Trust me, you've been trusting me this long, this is what we're going to do. Next thing you know, it's the end of the meeting, and they walking in there, oh my God, this hair braider, this song is going to be amazing. It's going to be the single. All that energy that they had downstairs was gone in his face. This was hilarious, whatever to me. And he's done that a lot. He's never let people dictate his moves and his music and stuff like that. He never did it. And he always told me why. Just like, yo, if he always says, if he's going to make a mistake, it's going to be his mistake. And that's how he lived his life. I'm just being honest with you, Even with his situation that he's in right now, he told them what he wanted to do. And he taking it like a champ. You know what I'm saying? But he told him what he wanted to do. He's always been on his terms. So I've always respected him like whatever for that, and I love him. And I love him for that. And again, his voice, just working with him in the studio, just to see him work and to be around somebody like that, I'm telling you, you don't understand what that does, whatever, for just guidance, right? And just guidance as far as being in the studio. He's phenomenal. I mean, he'll kill anything. His vocals are absolutely the best that I've ever heard on an R&B song, period, with anybody. The man can sing the phone book. It does not matter, is what he is. So that's R. Kelly, man. I love you. I know I'm gonna see you soon, and that's off to you. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. So that's Rob. So I got Rob. A real crazy story is another guy who's a hero guy, whatever of mine. Obviously, like I just said, is Aaron Hall. Aaron Hall from God, and we knew each other through. He knew me. We met initially at a celebrity basketball game at Columbia University. There was a celebrity basketball game that we played in, whatever there. I believe it was Columbia. It definitely wasn't City College. Don't mix me up with that City College. But it was, I think it was at Columbia. So anyway, we there, and then we met. That's where I met Christopher Williams too. He was on the team too. And Christopher Williams, man. Christopher Williams, people keep playing with Christopher Williams, y'all. Y'all keep playing with him, saying all this light skin stuff there. Christopher Williams would absolutely punch you in your face. Like, he rolled with real thugs. Like, it's not a game with him. Right? I remember when I met him, he just showed me love because, I guess he knew who I was from there, because we were all with the same people in the industry, whatever kind of stuff. So I'm sure he asked who I was and what I did, and he came and gave me advice, and he told me a particular person, I'm not gonna say his name. He told me not to mess with him. Well, I'm gonna say his name. He told me not to mess with Timmy Allen. And whatever's what he said, he told me not to mess with Timmy Allen because I guess him and Timmy Allen, whatever, had some difference of opinion in regards with their publishing, and told me not to mess with him. And he said, man, you need to come on by the studio and let's see what we can do. But he's a serious dude. Like, he wasn't like there to play. He's a cool dude, cool, but he's a dude that will punch you in your face. So I'm just telling you right now, before you approach Christopher Williams, don't wake me, I'm dreaming, guy. Don't play yourself. Just want to put it out there, So anyway, we are playing that thing, and I'm with Aaron Hall, and I'm there with Aaron Hall. I'm just giddy. I'm trying to get in there and get some songs done with him, and I play ball, and I play ball very well. Let's put that out there. It's a book called Soul of the Game. You'll see me right on the cover and inside. I used to absolutely go nutso. Okay, at the Ray Diaz tournament. You know me from the Ray Diaz tournament. Don't play yourself. I also played in Rucker. Don't get it twisted. I definitely scored 70 points in Rucker. Please don't get it twisted. Todd Boogie up there, they'll tell you who I am. Anyway, so played ball. Aaron liked the way I played ball, and we got to talking and doing music. But sadly, I never was able to get on a project because that dude just moved different, man. So you know whatever with him. But it was happy. I was happy whatever to meet him because of that. And let me tell you something. This is a true story. I made it happen. I left there. I left there. I had his number, I had his information, and we spoke a couple times, whatever. After that, me and Aaron, and we got to talking, and he knew my brother Flex Alexander is my brother. Flex Alexander, actor, comedian. You know, that's my real brother, not no fake brother. My real brother. And Flex knew everybody, and everybody knew him. And you know, my brother, you know, just like me, socially sexy. Like, you know, we get along with everybody, right? So everybody loves us. So we make all these relationships. But anyway, so with Aaron, I go and we went to this place called. I was going to this place called Sweetwater's. And I brought R. Kelly over to this place called Sweetwater's, and at that time it was like right next to Martin Luther King High School. Is where Sweetwater was. It's like on 60 something street, 64th or something like that. Around there is where it was, and where it is. Well, where Sweetwater was, but Martin Luther King is still there. And I'm outside and I'm on the phone, and I'm with R. Kelly. And I'm like, I'm with R. Kelly, I'm on the phone with Aaron, and I'm like, yo, Aaron, y'all need to make an album together. He said, who you talking about? And I was like, R. Kelly. And he's like, man, Todd, I don't know, man, I don't know. Because, you know, that's when all that beef was going on. When he did The Vibe, he came out, and everybody's, oh, you trying to be Guy and all that stuff like that. And he was like, man, I don't know, man, I don't really fuck with that guy. I'm telling you, he's cool. He's cool. Trust me, he's cool. So, I get him right on the phone. We in the Sprinter, and R. Kelly and him, whatever, is on the phone, and they talking about doing something. And with me, I'm just like, I just want one record. I just want one record on there, please, you know, kind of thing. And it almost got done, but it didn't get done because Rob's schedule, whatever, got crazy, and I think that's when he. I think that's when he started to mess with Jay-Z, and then they started to do the best of both worlds kind of stuff. Like they were striking that deal to do the best of both worlds, like around that time. So it didn't pan out. But I was dying, whatever, to work with Aaron, because again, he was on my Mount Rushmore, you know, whatever, of singers. I was with R. Kelly, you know, all I needed was Aaron, and you know, Aaron, whatever, to not to complete it, but to continue on my quest, whatever, to fill that Mount Rushmore of accolades. So anyway, so that whatever went to the side, and years whatever went down the line, and then out of nowhere, R. Kelly started working with the grandfather of it all, Charlie Wilson. And you know, and again, like I said, I never move thirsty, right? So we go to the I'm in the studio, and I'm writing my stuff, and then I'm done. I think that night I'm hennied up, you know what I'm saying? I'm hennied up. Matter of fact, let me eat you. I'm just even licking my lips, Lord God. That's some tequila today. But anyway, yeah, so I wrote all this music, and I'm sitting there and I'm just like songed out, you know, kind of stuff. And now it's just listening time, you know. So I'm there with Rob, so I just want to hear what he has up, you know, up and coming. So we sitting there, which we always do. I'm telling you, when we sit there and we jam out till like 8 a.m, you know, kind of stuff. So he just started playing this up. He said, man, I want you here, you know, to sup with Charlie. I want to save this guy. He's been dropping some terrible music, and I want to save this guy. I want to do some stuff on him, and I just need him to get right. Him and his manager Michael, whatever, to get right in the head, and we can see what we can do, because you know Charlie's a guy. Because Rob and I talk about him all the time. Like, he's just phenomenal. And Charlie worked, don't get me wrong. Charlie wasn't out there struggling. He was doing a bunch of stuff with Kanye West and some other stuff. Charlie Wilson gets work. He's background work, all that kind of stuff. He's been doing his thing. But when it came to his own projects, like, he was dropping brick after brick. You know, let's just be honest. It's bricks. It was selling nothing, right? And then Rob said, don't worry about it, I got you. And then he put on his record. Hey, girl, name's Charlie. That's in Wilson. I was wondering, woo, and played, his demo of it. And I was like, God damn. And I just knew it was out of here. So he took that song, which is Charlie last name Wilson, and gave that to Charlie. Charlie went on there, and I'm watching him do the vocals with Charlie, whatever for that. And you got, when you do vocals with Charlie, you gotta have a chair and a whip, because he can do everything. So it's like you gotta pretty much like guide him with what you watch. And when you guide him from there, he's a professional. Like he'll take it from there. But you can't just let that tiger loose, because that tiger will get loose and go crazy, and your song, whatever, will sound crazy. Kind of. And when I say crazy, I'm not meaning crazy good. I mean crazy bad. So you got to make sure that you have, and then it'll sound like too churchy. Again, when you can sing that well, it's a vocal production thing. People who do vocals know what I'm talking about. So anyway, so he did that, and then from there, and with me being a hustler that I am, I'm like, hey, I got a couple joints, songs that we could do. He's like, oh yeah. And then next thing you know, we wound up doing this song, Too Hot. And then we did the song Asking Questions that I had done with my boy Dwayne. Dwayne, phenomenal writer. Dwayne Covert. He's from Atlanta, phenomenal writer. And we got that song done on Charlie, and it just went crazy. That album went like, I don't know, like I think I got it somewhere. Here it is right here. Here's the plaque right here. How many sales is on that? Yeah, I think this is just gold. But I think I have the other one in my other space where it's like double platinum, something crazy like that. His album went crazy. And but it was an honor for me to work with him. And y'all need to know, Charlie Wilson has one lung. He doing all them runs and all that power, all that singing with one lung. That's absolutely crazy when he told me that. I like, you got one lung? And and I was just like, God, how are you singing? He said, yeah, I just don't like low notes. I like my notes wherever they be high. Like the hardest joint is the easiest stuff for him. The man is phenomenal. Love Uncle Charlie. That's my guy. Love him to death. So work with him. He's phenomenal. Whatever to work with. I had joy working with that fool. He and I fell out for I don't know what it is. To be honest, I think it's because he fell out with the A&R. Who was DJ Wayne Williams. He fell out with DJ Wayne Williams, and they had some sort of disagreement. And because Wayne is my guy, I guess they took it where, oh, that's his guy. So we don't want to mess with him, whatever. Either, which is crazy because I go from having hugs and we happy, jumping up and just enjoy and yo, you my guy, oh Uncle Charlie, everything is great. And next thing you know, like the cold shoulder. I couldn't get him on the phone, and it just got weird. He started working with a producer, that I work with, who didn't even call me. I'm not gonna say his name. Starts with a G, right? That I got work, and then after when he got work, I'm sure people out there know how to deal with those kind of cats. I got him work, and didn't give me no work, didn't give me no back pay, no nothing, no hookup, nothing. And I was like, okay, it's all good. We really didn't know each other really anyway. It's all good, but I just thought something like that would happen out of respect, but it is what it is. But he wound up taking a guy that I brought to him, working with him, and doing the other album that didn't do nothing like our album. Okay? That joint called A Cold Brick. Let's just be truthful here. Okay? It ain't do nothing like what we got going on here. But Charlie Wilson is phenomenal. In person, his stage shows is crazy, so it ain't nothing, it ain't like you gonna come up short with the guy. He got nothing but hit records that he had through his. You think I've been in it for a long time? He been in the game for a long time. He got crazy hits. And with all that being said, I still love the dude. Like I said, he and I have never had a bad word to each other. It's just, I guess whatever it is, I don't even know if to call it business, because he and I had great business. It wasn't no problem with the numbers and everything. They paid me. I got paid. Everything. I got nothing with that. But I'm loyal. Wayne Williams got me that job, and I don't turn my back on people when people give me work. And I'm saying Wayne Williams gave me a lot of work. right? So I don't turn my back. And then plus, again, we hung out, all kinds of stuff. Like Wayne is my guy. So, I'm not going to turn my back on people who I'm cool with. So, I guess everything, whatever, still worked out. It's all good. And I think Charlie got released he asked to be released from the label, and he left the label, I guess shortly after that. Like I said, he didn't have the same success that he had when Rob got involved, I got involved, and Wayne Williams was in it. That's just a fact. That's not to poke him. That's just what it is. But I still got a chance to work with one of my vocal heroes, which Charlie is and was my vocal hero. I love him, R. Kelly. And then next, who was up there? Teddy Riley. I had an opportunity to work with Teddy Riley, and so Teddy had a bunch of tracks, whatever that was on there, and he and I met, again over the phone, and we bonded the same way. He's a Harlem, he was up in St. Nick, and again, I'm from the Polar Grounds. Then I moved down to Frederick Douglass, on 102nd and 103rd, in Amsterdam, and so we bonded with that. We knew some of the same people, in the circle. But Teddy is, Teddy Riley's, he's up there, and Teddy Riley, this is when he was trickling down, and this is when R. Kelly was bubbling. So I was obviously with the guy at that time, meaning I'm with R. Kelly. But then being with Teddy Riley, this was everything to me. He was another one. He's on my Mount Rushmore, right, to work with. And he had this phenomenal track that he played for me that I thought was crazy. And I flew out to Atlanta, went to DoubleTree Studios out in the burbs, and I just got it in and wrote a freaking smash, and did that song. It was there. Teddy heard it, he was pleased, and that's all I needed to hear from me. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy Charlie liked it, and we wound up, and when Charlie and I cut it, we cut it in Los Angeles. But with Teddy Hurley, he came over to DoubleTree, and he heard it. And actually, I take that back. Charlie and I cut that in Atlanta. We cut that at DoubleTree, and we also did the song "The Reasons" with Polo. We did Polo. I did a song to Polo as well, and we recorded on that. But Teddy came in the studio, and he heard whatever. He heard it was called Zoom. The song is called Zoom. And Teddy got on it. Oh my God. You understand how I feel when he got on it? He took it, it was already fire. But he took it to another level and made it fire. 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 Okay? And I was just like, man, this got to go. You know how you get all hype? I don't know, producers, you all hype? This is going to be great. Yeah! The next thing you know, boom, that beef hit. And then the song didn't make the album because they had a problem, whatever, with my guy, with the A&R guy, with Wayne Williams. And I stood tall with Wayne. I stood tall with Wayne. I'm like, listen, well, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You don't got a problem with him, you got a problem with me, kind of thing. And the project just went left. So I did that, and that kind of let me down. But I still was happy the fact that one of my Mount Rushmores heard the song and was there. And then from there, Teddy and I worked. It's crazy. That was a problem. But from there, it left it wide open for me to work with Teddy. And he and I done projects, whatever, after that, right? And, we tried to put some stuff out, but I've worked with him. After that, he knows who I am, kind of thing. And that felt good at that time. I'm just saying earlier that he obviously knows me now, but I'm just talking about that time. The fact that he knew who I was, that was great for me. Because he was on my Mount Rushmore. Teddy Riley was on my Mount Rushmore. I was very happy, very excited about that. Like I said, it was Teddy Riley, Aaron Hall, R. Kelly. Those are my Mount Rushmore of people, whatever, that I work with. To get to phenomenal singers that I know I work with. I'm gonna give you two, and I'm gonna be out. Far as with this, right? So I worked with a singer called Carl Thomas, right? And Carl Thomas, man, let me tell you something, man. That dude, his vocals is so unique, right? That he's like an anomaly to me. Like his vocals are that good. Like whatever to me. He can do anything, whatever that he wants. But the thing about Carl, he's been through so many situations, right? And I've known Carl for 20 years. Like this is like my brother, right? And the thing about him, what I had to learn, I used to think he was lazy, right? I used to think he was hard to work with. I did when I first met him, because you know, when you meet somebody with that kind of ability, you always feel like they should be doing more, you know? And that's just you standing on the sideline, you know, thinking what somebody should be doing with, you know, with their gift. Like, what nerve do I have? Like, you know, whatever with that. But at the time, I wasn't thinking that. I'm just like, man, you should be doing more with your gift, right? So, but the thing with him, what I wound up understanding, I can tell you it's a whole bunch of stuff he and I, whatever. Again, like, I'm talking about, me and him have very, you know, family talks about a lot of, you know, a lot of stuff. The guy, I think when it comes to religion, he's definitely in his faith. He definitely loves God, but he's inquisitive, right? And you know, he's inquisitive about all faiths, about all things. To be honest with you, right? Very, very opinionated, very much in thought at all times, and I just had to start. I had to appreciate, you know, the stuff he's been through. He's been through so many groups, so many people lying to him, so many people using him. I mean, this is just the truth, right? And I don't think he's ever, if he's seeing this, whatever, you know, whatever right now, but these are the things I've always known, you know, that I've gotten to know whatever about him. And a lot of people, like, you know, they name him difficult, but I mean, again, as if you had the chance to be around him, you would know all the stuff that he's been through. And you would start to appreciate him a little better. So he didn't do a lot of things the way that you would want him to do, and becomes immaterial, right? Because for his whole life, he's always done other people's songs. You should do this, Carl. You should sound like this here. You should be here. You should do this, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff, right? And he did it. And sometimes he has success. Sometimes he has success, and sometimes, you know, and he didn't. And he just didn't get a thrill up, you know, about it when it was something that wasn't whatever from him. But, you know, he was in his game for so long, you know, he started to know what he needed to do to get out there for him to actually become a solo singer. So if you saw my previous podcast, I was telling you about my mentor, Charles Farrar. He the one originally signed Carl, and you know, they wound up getting into a thing where Carl wanted to leave the company, and then, you know, Charles didn't want to let him go, whatever, at first. And obviously, you know, he's been through so much and invested so much in him, so it wasn't like, you know, Charles was being wrong about that. He just invested so much in him. But he's tried everything with him, a group. And when I say Charles tried him, Charles had him, I think he may have had 3 deals. And the group name at that time was a Formula. I couldn't remember it on the last podcast, but the name of the group was a Formula with the 3 guys. So, but Charles got them deals and got them money. That was the great thing about Charles. Like I said, he knows how to get money. He knows how to get money. He you know, it just got to the point where Carl got to this thing, and he was just like, man, I just got to get out of here. Like, you know, Boogs, will you help me? And I said, yeah. You know, because again, I'm super close with Charles, and I went and I spoke to him and asked him to do it. And again, like I said, people call Charles hard. Charles understood, and he was cool. Yeah, it ain't like I said anything magical. Like, Charles knew that, you know, again, he loves Carl, right? And, you know, But Carl did give us a doozy. He gave us a doozy. He told me, yeah, I'm just going to get out of here. I'm just going to do some R&B. I'm just going to do some gospel music. Be in church. Yeah, I'm going to be in church. And get out of this R&B stuff. It's for the lames. R&B's for the lames. It's what he told me and Mr. Farrar. And we were like, all right, cool. Kind of thing. So he goes in the room and close the door. Charles has, actually he didn't even sign the contract. Charles, he didn't sign a release. Charles was like, yo man, go ahead man, you good. Don't worry, you ain't gonna have no problem from me. You want to do gospel, do your thing, it's okay. You put in a lot of work with me, it's all good, everything. And I'm saying everything. Like Charles Howes gave this guy money every day, like everything for this dude for years, for like at least 10 years, right? I think it was something like that, eight years, something like that, right? That Charles had him, and he just couldn't do it. So Charles was just like, all right, cool, again, go do gospel. I'm not gonna keep you from that. Like I said, Charles was a good guy. And then it was very emotional. Charles was very emotional. I closed the door, gave him a minute, whatever, to get himself together. Carl came out of there crying like a baby too, kind of thing. Because again, these guys genuinely loved each other, right? Or love each other. I ain't gonna say love. Both still alive, still talking to each other, still cool. But they love each other. They've been through a lot. Is this something that you could be through a lot with people, and sometimes that's all you got, right? That's all it is. It ain't nothing you could do with it. So he goes, right, and then I think a few weeks go by, a few months go by, and me and Charles is doing what we usually do. We out, we probably going to the club somewhere in his G-Wagon. At the time, he had the G-Wagon, and we get in the car, and next thing you know, we hear this great record with Biggie going on, talking, and then the guy singing, "The world is filled with pimps and hoes." Well, pimps and hoes? It was Carl! What kind of gospel record is this? The world is filled with pimps and hoes. And we were like, holy crap. And then he signed the Bad Boy. And I'm going to tell you right now, Carl, you got me in trouble. Oh my God, you got me in trouble. Charles is like, man, you coming in there begging for me, drop this kid, talking about you going to be gospel. Listen to this shit. I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Kind of thing. And he was pissed off for like 2 seconds. As far as in regards to that. I think he was more pissed off, like with Charles, he was more pissed off just being a perfectionist. Like, if I'm going to be saying something business-wise, I should know what I'm talking about, and don't get used and don't get played, whatever like that, that kind of way. But he wasn't, it wasn't like that. He wasn't angry, whatever like that. But he did. It did kind of make me look a little crazy. Carl, did kind of make me look crazy, and it took a month to recover from that. As far as I think I did some other business that kind of got me back in his good graces, but that took that was a doozy. As far as with Carl, and then you already know from there. And then next we see him. He comes out. He has "I Wish." Mike City gives him a banger. Gives him a few bangers, actually. And those still the songs that he performed, whatever, to this day and age. And Carl and I talk to this very day. I spoke to him the other day. He is just a phenomenal guy, a phenomenal person. He dealt with so much personal tragedy in his life. He has so much stuff, whatever, in his soul. So much more to give in his soul. Don't sleep on Carl. I know he won't. I know it's not likely that people do that, but if anybody will come back and give you a hit, or be resurrected, as far as in that way. When I say resurrect, I'm just resurrected in that hit world. I believe in Carl. I believe in him because he finally found his voice. kind of stuff, and working with him, writing songs, whatever with him, vocally producing him, doing all that stuff with him was again, it was something that I'll never ever forget in my life. It was a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. I can't wait whatever to do it again. Do some songs with him again, and he's another phenomenal vocalist. Carl Thomas is a phenomenal vocalist, and I love that guy. He's great. I just want to give him his flowers too. All right. Last but not least, another guy. Well, when I say last but not least, I'm just talking about for this segment because I work with so many. But I'm gonna say another guy. This guy here, who I'm about to mention, his name is Joe Thomas. He goes by just Joe, right? And I don't know. Okay. Joe and I were best friends. Okay? And yes, I said we're best friends. We worked on a bunch of stuff. I had projects of mine that he even wrote on and helped. Came to the studio, all kinds of. I used to hang at this man's house every day. Kind of stuff. And before I get into that stuff, let me just talk about Joe just as a singer. As a singer, he is another guy with one of the most unique voices you will ever hear. He can grab a microphone on stage with anybody past and new and destroy him. It's just a fact. And I'm going to tell you something on low key. His family too. He has a sister that's ridiculous too, who blows, right? So Joe and I hooked up all the time. Again, we done similar things. I mean, I brought him out to clubs with me. I remember we used to go to Nails all the time. Nails on 14th Street, if y'all know about that. We used to go to Nails all the time and hang out. And Joe's a quiet dude. He's a passive aggressive. He ain't soft. He's just a quiet dude. Like, he will pop off on you. Okay, he never pop off on me, right? But he will pop off on you, right? And he was, at the time he was with a person that he was at odds with a lot, right? In regards with vision, because he's very particular. You want to talk about something? Joe's the type of dude. It has to, when he dresses, he's neat. He's a gentleman. He's that guy, but it has to be on point. So him and Kedar used to go at it. Kedar Massenberg, they used to go at it, a lot about creative things, because again, Joe knew his path. He's one of those guys who knew himself before himself, kind of thing, right? But he still took direction with stuff. He worked with R. Kelly. He used to they did a song called how it go? Nah. I forgot the name of the title of the song, but I know it went like that. But R. Kelly wrote it, and he used to hate that he did that song with R. Kelly, but he didn't hate it when it went number one. For weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, number one. That's because it wasn't something personal with R. Kelly. He just didn't like it because he never played with his brand. He's a songwriter, producer, and musician. So he never wanted anybody to think that, anybody else whatever was writing these songs for him. Even though Jolly and Skinner is this phenomenal writer, this older guy from Germany, somewhere, black guy, that him and Joe used to come up with magic, right? They used to write whatever together, but Jolyon was doing Joe, style. When he did R. Kelly record, he had to do R. Kelly style. So for him, that kind of he didn't like that. He didn't like that. But again, it was all due respect. He never disrespected, R. Kelly. I mean, you ain't gonna disrespect R. Kelly. He's not gonna have it anyway. So, but that's what he did. But the thing with Joe is, he could always been bigger to me. Him and Carl sort of had the same kind of demeanor they weren't really flashy. And like Joe was flashy when addressing, but just not being out there, with that stuff. He was more laid back, whatever kind of dude. Yeah, he's more laid back kind of dude. If he was out there more, Joe would have been bigger. Joe is one of the, he's a phenom to me. He is. I mean, I just think so vocally. He's one of the best singers of our time. It's just a fact. Period. You got all these Teddy Swifts and all these people thinking they blowing. You're not messing with Joe. That's just a fact, right? But with him, we got into a thing because I wrote a song for him, but I wrote a bunch of songs for him, and well, I'm not gonna say I wrote a bunch of songs for him. I wrote a bunch of songs with him, but this particular song I wrote, and I haven't seen him, in a minute. And then on MCA, on Universal, he puts out an album, and then he puts out my song, right? And he didn't tell me. And then it was listed as if he wrote the record, and some other people produced all this stuff. It wasn't there. It just wasn't a good look. Like anybody, copyright infringement is serious. You know what I'm saying? I can't, we don't get advances, right? As we don't get the advance, we only get our money off of royalties. And then also, we get our money from satisfying our publishing deals, right? So that was a big song for me. And I think actually, that song would have ended my contract with Universal and would have read me up to start a new one. So it was a big deal, with that song. So of that song, me not being listed on work, whatever that I did. Not to be crazy, to be honest, Joe called me, and it was on his mind, and he's doing 1,000 things. I'm just, again, I have to give these excuses because of his character. I've never known him to have that character, to be that type of guy. I know how he is about it. So, he called me. I didn't call him. He called me. So we're talking about it, and then I was like, yeah. And then he was like, okay, I'm gonna make it right. And he said, I think he said Kedar did that, is what he said. And I'm like, all right, I said, but my relationship is with you, right? So he said, don't worry about it, I'm gonna fix it. So 1 week went by, 2 weeks went by, a month go by, a month or two go by, I don't hear nothing. 3 months go by, I don't hear nothing. So obviously I have reps, my publishing rep, I think it was Tanya Brown at that time, when I was at Zamba. And what they do, when they know you wrote a song, it's not there, they stop it all. And then, I didn't tell her to do that. I just was like, hey, hold up 1 second. I have a song I have to give you that I did on Joe. Right? And, but, she went ahead, I guess somewhere the lines got crossed. She went ahead and she put in for it like, yo, for whatever, because you money automatically comes to me, whatever, out of budget when something like that happens. I can also sue, which obviously I'm not looking to do, as far as in regards with, with my guy. But she was doing all of that, and so I thought did the responsible thing. I called Joe and I was like, yo, the publishing company know about that song, and they're like, yo, what's going on, like, with that, and they're making moves. And then he got mad at me and said, why would I do that? And I was just like, well, it's no big deal because you were fixing it, whatever, anyway. Like, it wasn't, so, and then it was like, and then we talked on the phone, but it was weird after that, obviously. And I'm like, whatever. So I let a couple days go by, and then I was just like, let me go by and see him and talk to him, right? In person, let me go talk to him. So I go by to see him, and I'm walking up to the door, and his brother, I think his name is Rob, came out and stopped me. You know, stop. Hey. What do you want? It was the kind of day, and I was like, Rob, what's up? Like, Joe there? Like, what's up? Yeah, man. Yeah, now's not a good time. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me, bro? And I said, wow. And I said, okay, no problem. This is when he lived in Saddle River. I can say Saddle because he doesn't live there anymore. I know where he lives now. But this is when he lived. Actually, it was Kedar's house that he got him, and he lived in Saddle River. And very nice house, by the way. It's very, very, very nice. I just was like, wow, you know. And I'm telling you, I was at this guy's house almost every day, like playing spades. I'm bringing food over, all kinds of stuff. Like we have guests over, little parties, all that kind of stuff. Like I'm there, and he just shut me down. And after that, like he just wouldn't pick up his phone, and I was just like, wow. And I'm searching for a reason. I'm in the car, driving, trying to search for me, like, okay, maybe I did this wrong, or maybe I said that wrong. And I'm like, how am I wrong here? Then after that, you already know, I was like, all right, you can go jump in the lake, bro. What's my attitude? You can go jump in the lake. You know, at the end of that, and I've never spoken to him, actually, ever, since. I think it was some business where somebody wanted me to get him for a show, but the money wasn't right. But even with that, I wasn't showing up. Because again, like with that, like I don't like, you gotta be a man about your, like to me, you gotta be a man about it. You know I've done nothing wrong. You can call me and be like, yo, Boog, man, put that shit to bed, that ain't nothing, yada, 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 all this kind of stuff. You know, because you know what it was. And he never did that. And I lost respect for him. Complete respect for him. And I left it there because I know, because I'm a man. When I do something wrong, I'm like, yo, I did this wrong. That's my bad. You know, kind of thing. And I'm going to tell you that. You know, but the fact that I wrote a record that you released and I didn't get paid for, and all of a sudden you're going to flip it on me because my company, my publishing company, whatever, found out and did some stuff, and I try to alert you, whatever, about it, and you let 3 months go by and you didn't say anything about it. You let the song is out, collecting royalties, doing stuff, and you didn't correct anything, whatever, for me. You didn't even make it right. Like say, okay, Todd, take 5,000, take 10,000. Here you go. Don't worry about nothing. You did nothing. So after all that, I'm wrong. I'm like, okay, cool. I can live with that. I'll be wrong. And you can go jump in a lake. And that's how I felt about it, which is a shame, you know, because again, this was a real good friend of mine. When I say my good friend of mine, not only did I go to his house, he was coming to my house, and we were having spade parties, all kinds of stuff. And it was just, I always get upset when I lose a friend, right? Somebody who's like a true friend. Because like I said, we talk family stuff, you know, and all that stuff, whatever as well. And again, you know, it's personal issues, which I won't go into. I would never talk about stuff, whatever, about that. I only talk about the surface, you know, whatever things. But that also with our kids, with his kids, you know, his daughters and stuff like that. So it's all good, you know, as far as in regard with that. But it was very disappointing to me with that. But it's still, I love him. I love his voice, and he will be on that Mount Rushmore too, as far as for me, like vocally as well. Definitely with who I worked with, he would be on that Mount Rushmore. He's phenomenal. Whatever singer, and I wish him the best. I mean, he's always going to be. He's going to sing until he drops on that stage. You know, the guy got countless hits, and again, he's another guy who can sing the phone book. Okay. So as said before, whenever I get to the end of this, I like to shout out a particular artist, scouring the internet, somebody that I actually been listening to for a while. She is from overseas in London with my London folk. Shout out to y'all. I see y'all up on my page giving me love. I appreciate it. Her name is Tamara. This girl right here, buddy. When I say phenomenal, bro, phenomenal. Crazy. And what's crazy about it, she has tons of material, whatever, herself. Don't get me wrong. I'm listening to it like all the time. But she remade this record, Rain and Summer / Burning. It's crazy. When you go on her page, by the way, this is her page. When you go on this page, it's like the first thing pinned on there. You want to check it out. If you're going to be like me, you're going to watch it at least 100 times. Phenomenal, crazy, incredible singer, incredible talent, bunch of music on there. Tamara going places. I swear I don't understand why she's not just absolutely like going crazy like right now like she should. Somebody needs to sign. I wish I owned my own record company. I swear I would have the best artists in the world. Because I won't be choosing for all the politics. I'll just be choosing for pure talent. And this girl right here is pure talent. Tamara is ridiculous. Love to you, girl. I'm giving you your flowers wherever right now. This is Rhythm Emperors. We appreciate you wherever being there. Like I said, check out my girl Tamara. And also look out for us on our next podcast. I'm going to holler.